Yeah, so it's a very complicated relationship. We know that when this all started out, Tasha was telling Tariq to just go to school, not worry about her. But it's very interesting that there was a conversation that she had in this particular episode with McLean and Paula, and basically mentioned that right, and this happened right at the end of their conversation with McLean when McLean was about to leave. She said, well, remember that there are still two kids that I have to take care of out here. So they want to remind you that yes, Tasha definitely cares about Yaz. She cares about Tariq. But just to go to Dana's point, yes, she is also thinking about herself, because obviously, if you take Epiphany out of the picture, it would eliminate the fact that Tariq would even come up in the conversation, but it also just completely ends all mention of the business that Epiphany did with Tasha, because she dealt with her directly, selling the drugs, etc. So it definitely was a selfish act to tell him to do that. But then I also find it interesting how later on, when she talks to Tariq again, she asked him, "What did you do?" And he refuses to tell her exactly what he did.
Hmm.
So yeah, because you have to be cautious about that, because I believe that there was a conversation they were having over the phone, and
Yeah.
that would have been a recorded conversation.
Yeah.
So you can't really reveal that information over that phone. She didn't have the burner anymore at that point. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting dynamic. But again, we're going to see where this all leads next week. Now that Tariq is going to have to be the one to take the stand, which is something that they had already alluded to at the beginning of the season, where Tariq was ready to take the stand. But now Tariq has gone through a lot of situations on his own. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he deals with that. But he knows everything now, so it's going to be, yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens next.
Yeah.
See,
So,
can I piggyback? Can I? For, see, when you said the part where how it was a recorded thing, and she kept saying, "Did you do your homework? Did you do your homework?" I kind of wondered at that point, was she trying to set him up?
Mm,
Because she wanted him to say, it wasn't like a code word. It wasn't like, I did my math today and I worked on my subtractions.
yep.
He didn't say that. And I think for some reason, because we saw him respond and, yeah, I'm doing homework and all that other mess. He didn't respond. So I wonder, in a weird way, did he know that she was trying to, if she was trying to set him up by constantly asking the answer for if you did your homework? Or I wonder if by not answering, it was a power struggle. You know what I mean? To say, I have the answer, but I choose not to tell you because right now I'm in control. The Tariq was growing into his own.
yeah, there's
That's good.
many perspectives you can take from that conversation, because it definitely was pretty deep. Like there was more to it. There was a lot of nuance in that phone call. And that brings me to the next question I wanted to ask. But let me answer what Dana just said, and what I think first of all, and then I'll ask you to. So I think in that conversation, she said, the word. She asked if he did homework. I think that was her way of trying to talk in code on the phone. So she, that's why she said homework and everything. But Tariq's lack of, a proper answer, I think Tariq sort of resents that she asked him to do that task.
Hmm.
I think he kind of resents her for that a little bit, and he might be feeling a certain way about it, that she asked him to do that. So I wanted to ask you guys: do you think Tariq resents Tasha for asking him to do such a thing like that, despite what he's already been through, and and everything that's kind of led up to the case and everything? Do you think he kind of resents her for that?
I think it was very selfish. He could be very angry about it because, in a weird way, if you go back to the first Ghost,
Hmm.
they kind of planned together. Remember, they kept talking about killing Ghost?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll do it, Ma. And it was like that back and forth. So I feel that he already killed for her once. And he is not, I don't view him yet as someone who's like a solidified ghost where he can just kill and call it a day. He's not Kane that way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I do feel, and then also remember every time, like, not to get ahead, but every time that he made kind of stupid choices, it came back at him, and someone else kind of lost their life because of it. If you look at Reina and the whole situation, I feel that in a way he does resent her. I feel that he is not ready to be a killer, and we still don't know if that is something that he wants to do. Remember, we had the conversation, or he has these two paths to take. He can either be the clean cut person eventually, or he could be that killer, which is goes back to why I love that they titled this monster. Um, I think that I don't think it's resentment. Resentment is strong, but I do feel that he is very angry. That it's the fact that he killed his father, and you could argue he killed it for Tasha. And at the same time, he's still dealing with that grief of one, being a killer, and two, losing his father. Because at the end of the day, that was their father. As weird as a bond that they had, that was his father. And also the fact that he's trying to process everything that he's done. It's not just the fact that I killed a father, it's the fact that I am now a killer. I am going down the path that my own father is going down. And him trying to decide if that's the path that he wants to while being caught up in the midst of everything. And for Tasha to come and say, will you come and kill again? That kind of negates his feelings. He never had the opportunity to even say no. So I
Yeah.
feel that he's very angry at this point. And going back with the whole not answering the homework question, that's why he didn't answer.
Well, I think his demeanor is again, he doesn't. I mean, he is Ghost, but I think it's part of him that doesn't want to be like Ghost. So he wanted to try to, I guess, finagle another way to handle that situation. I do think though he definitely contemplated doing it though, because I don't want to jump ahead, but when he went to go visit Epiphany, they did a very good job with the tension, making you think that he was going to actually shoot her. And he didn't go through with that. Instead, he just paid her off, paid her to leave, and he had that dialogue with her. When she brought up the fact that she would just leave if she had money. So that I think that was his way of dealing with the situation, as opposed to doing what his mom said. Uh, but again, a very good job with the tension, because we know earlier this season that she had also told him to deal with Tamika, and you saw how that also ended, where his lawyer showed up right before he had a chance to do anything with her that he would have regretted. So I think that goes to show that they really did a good job of making you think that he might do something. And then, of course, the episode is titled Monster, so I was kind of expecting him to do something to transition into a monster, as Effie alluded to in the episode. But that didn't quite happen. So it was good that he pretty much dealt with it that way. Of course, what's going to be interesting now is seeing what is that interaction going to be like when he does reunite with his mom, because she may think, well, this person is gone, but can this person come back and become a threat to us once again? And that is the whole reason why she wanted him to kill her in the first place. So we'll see what happens. But I do agree, maybe resentment is too strong a word. I think he definitely had some struggles with that, but they have definitely put a lot on Tariq. Both Tasha and Ghost put a lot of pressure on Tariq. So especially with what happened with Ghost getting killed. So I can see how he definitely could resent it. I don't think he did the best job showing how much he resented it, though. It's just that he was trying to think about what is the best way to deal with this situation, so that I'm not completely like my dad, even though I still have a lot of the same traits that he has, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.